Hey, what's up? I'm Hypesy. I make games, play games everywhere using an app called hypehype, a revolutionary app that gives you the ability to make and play games all on your phone, tablet, and even desktop browser. Today, I'm going to be using one of the coolest features in hypehype, which is the remix button. This button lets you go into any of the games in hypehype, remake this game in your own way. On top of that, I'll be going into other games in hypehype, taking out enemy characters that I don't actually know how the creator did this, but I can take that enemy from another game, copy and paste it into my game. So I'm gonna be doing all of this within hypehype. This video actually took me around 30 minutes to make, but I've condensed it to about 7 to 8 minutes. And I find this very fascinating. When I would make games for the App Store or Play Store, at minimum, it would take me 1 to 2 months to complete a game. The game I'm creating today isn't a full complete game. It's more like one level, whereas in a full game, I would make, let's say, 10 to 50 levels. With hypehype, the way I make and approach games is different because hypehype is different. The things you can do in hypehype with your fingers, if you get bored making one of your games, which happens, you can just make another game. You can go back to a previous game you've made and update it, make more levels. There's a saying I like: if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. How I look at making games and playing games has changed. If you like this kind of content, hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon to help support the idea that anybody should be able to make games. Let's take a look through hypehype and see if we can find a game to remix. Island Parkour by We Are Hype Makers. Let's check it out. Super simple game. Looking good. I'm curious if you fall in the water, if there's a game over. Okay, so we will have to add that. Let's remix this game. Hit the remix button. First thing I want to do is add a game over in case the player falls in the water. Here we have a lighter blue tile set object. We can go to object, make it red, paint over where a player falls. Next, we want to go into the player, hit advanced. We want to add a collision trigger node and a game end node. The water object is red. Collision trigger on the player will be set to red. Game end, execute. Next, on the game end, I like the game overs to restart the game. So we select ending type, restart automatically. I like these little islands. I want more islands with enemies and obstacles on the island. I'm doing all this with my fingers. Let's add some more plants, trees. We'll also need to expand the game over water area. It looks like there's a game end container with broadcasters and broadcast listeners. Okay, we got an add-on called Water Destroyer. In this Water Destroyer, we see a bunch of stuff. Output true, destroyer, sound activated. Let's add a broadcaster. Game fail, if output is true. Let's add a broadcaster. Put the broadcaster in the Water Destroyer container. Move it right down there. And then if output true, select the broadcaster, execute. And this broadcaster is set to game fail. Let's see if this works. And the game is restarted. Let's add some of these vines, make them object red enemy, so if the player touches, they die. And we're gonna put these everywhere. I generally try to make my games easy, but sometimes they're not easy. And I listen to the comments and the feedback that people leave me when they play the game to let me know updates I should make for each game. It's a really great way to learn as you go while creating games. We wanna make sure that these objects are unmovable and are object red. And in the character, we want a collision trigger, object group red, select the character, make sure he's blinking green, broadcaster, execute, game fail. Let's also add a particle, so if he hits, set to hurt for emission effect, particle effect, execute, on. Be sure to turn off the execute on the particle, as that is always on at the beginning. I'm gonna go into the asset library, go to effects, and select warfare explosion medium. Now it's in the hype, I'll hit delete, and I'll select that for the explosion. Next, I wanna add some kind of Goomba enemy. I'm gonna exit out. I wanna check out another hype called Duck Tub or Tub something. Here we can see the sharks going back and forth. I don't exactly know how to do this off the top of my head. Well, I know a lot of these games. When I want a mechanic, I just go to the game that I know has it, take it, copy, and paste it into my game, and then just try to make it work. So let's take a look, grab it, and copy and paste. So this is a shark. Notice the green outline. That means it's a reusable object. Let's go to the hierarchy browser, select reusable, select shark, and here it is in front of us. We have a vector transform. This rotates the object. What happens here is on the collision, there is a dark gray object that the shark bumps into and causes it to rotate. Let's grab the shark, press the copy button, exit, go into our draft, hit edit. Let's go over here, paste the shark. Now we want to create new instance, and you'll see we have a shark with a green outline. So let's take this shark and let's just move him over here. Also, I want to make him object red. Okay, great. Let's have him walk. We saw if he hits a dark gray object, he'll spin around. Let's get a basic object. We're going to make this an unmovable object, make it a sensor so it doesn't take up any physical space in the game, make it dark red. And now we will put this here and over here. Let's see if it works. Oh, looks good. Let's copy and paste these throughout the map. Now we just need to turn these gray boxes invisible. It looks like these small little narrow straights, which I thought looked cool, are causing issues, having the player fall down, kind of like falling through the cracks. We're gonna have to redesign the little islands a little bit more. Keep an eye out where there's pinches on the islands that may cause the player to fall through. Lastly, let's create a leaderboard so we can see who is the best at this game. We grab this block, let's change it to light green. Let's add a collision trigger and a broadcaster. Collision trigger will be set to green. So let's add a broadcaster and we'll create start timer. On collision, start, broadcaster. Let's zoom to the end system. We're going to add timer node, a broadcast listener, and let's go ahead and put these in the container by selecting the node and dragging it over the end system container. And lastly, we want a leaderboard entry. Let's put that in there as well. Alright, let's select the text node. We're going to want time, format 0.000, center top medium, looks good. The time node, we want to remove stop at end, disable execute. Broadcast listener, we want start timer. On signal received, turn the timer on. On output for the timer, we want text value. That'll show the timer on the screen while you're playing. Next, we want the output to go to the leaderboard. Select score, go back to the timer node, select the magnifying glass, deselect also execute target because we don't want this to execute until the game has finished. On the game success broadcast listener, we take the on signal receive, go over the timer, hit execute. Off, that will turn the timer off. The on signal receive onto the leaderboard and we hit execute. So let's check it. Timer is going. Looking good. I noticed the collision area at the end of the flag wasn't perfect. Looks like there's an add-on. So this is the finish area. I think that finish area is kind of small. So I'm just gonna take this block, take this cube, make it bigger. There we go. Let's make it an unmovable object, make it invisible, add a collision trigger and a broadcaster. If the player, who is a green object, touches this cube, execute broadcaster, and this broadcaster set the game success. So now the game success is faster. Sweet, now we just need to save it. Let's take a thumbnail, save. Let's call this Shark Island. Add the hashtag casual. We'll go leaderboard time, lowest number, and let's go ahead and post this. I think this is a good game, and we'll see if I get any feedback from other players. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.